Right, welcome back again. We're kind of up to speed now with where I should be doing things in order in this book. I mean, I suppose it's a matter about whichever way you want to do it. Some of you might remember I forge-jawed this ages ago when I had a forge-jaw in. I did a few other bits. Now it's time to do this. So what I've done, as I'm reading the instructions here, it's this bit, that bit there, and it asks you in the instructions if you have a collet block, and luckily I do, with either ER 25 or 32s or a C5. Now I've got this, mine's a C5 one, so I've got an inch collet there, and I have made myself a mandrel. That fits in that bit, and the machined face, it tells you that you've already done. Well, if you just give me a tick, it is a good fit. Right, you nuisance. Let's try it a different way. There we go. I think there's about half a thou difference. I can't feel anything. I mean, it's that good. There. Or to do it another way. Yeah, there must be like half a thou difference in it going in. There. Right, if I put my hand over that, I can feel it coming out, the air rushing out. So anyway, that is going to go in there. We're going to have washers, and I've drilled and tapped it, and it's going to go in the vise like so. This will go up against a stop, and we are going to start to do, we're going to get this vertical. We'll get a pointer on it and get it even and just fiddle about with it. We know the width of our collet block, we roughly know the width of this, so I'll get a pointer, pitch over and get it touching, and then see what it's like on the other side. And then once we, I think it's flick this up first, we'll be able to take it out and hopefully turn it 90 degrees and do some of the other components. So that's going to be the first thing. Now also included in there are some cotter pins. I decided, if you remember, to go down the cotter pin way, and ages ago, that's the jig for the inch bore. I've got 2 already cut and 2 actually in that housing. So I've cut some material for another one, and I'm halfway through cutting some material for some others. This one is the same size cotter pin as, I think they're all the same size on here actually, but you've obviously got different bores, so they come in and the arc in them will be different. If you remember how we've got these cotter pins, I will try and find and put the link to which one, if anyone's jumping in now, of how I made these cotter pins, how I did these jigs. I did them slightly different to how these have done them on here, but that needs one doing. This I'm doing at the moment. This arm here, I've looked through the instruction, I'm not too sure when we do this. It's simple work that's on it. That has the same size cotter pin as this piece, so you do 2 at once, so the others will be for that. And it says the mandrel that you make, you can then use when you drill and ream through to stop you chipping, you actually go through your mandrel, and it reduces your job chipping inside, which worked out very well on the other one. We have that one's 1 inch, and I should still have the shaft that I put that on somewhere. This one's 1/2 inch, and this one is 25mm, so it's not just me that's jumping backwards and forwards between old and new money. So I will need another 1, 2, 3 jigs making. So I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to prep the jigs off camera and get most of it done, and just probably do a few pictures and try and get a link if anyone wants to see how I did the first jig. So right, but that's all ready to go in the vise, and follow the instructions. Right, we've moved over onto the mill, and I have got my block, my C5, 5C, whichever way around it is blocked. Now, my mandrel, I drilled and tapped that end to hold it on, and I've also drilled it tapped to that end, because the first time I tried it and I tightened that up, it was pulling the bloody thing out. So I've got my stop set up, and it stops on this collar, like so. So fingers crossed that's not going to move anywhere. Now I've measured this and pitched across to the centre. I've already got the size for that. Like I say, this goes with the machine face when it nicely fits up, because it butts up. It'd be nice if it butted up against the end of there, but it doesn't. So that's just the way that is. So we're going to get this fastened up. And then nipped up. Now I shall come back and explain what I'm going to do to find the centre of that. Right, now I'm posh. I've got one of these. Now I pitched across to the centre of this square block, and what I've done, I've measured across here and I've halved it, and it's 184 thou either side. So I've got to just, what I did, I've tapped it round so it was on 0, and if I go back the other way, take my backlash out, come in 184 thou, and I come up to 0. Alright, I'm 0.2 metric out there, which is about 1 thou and a bit, which I don't think that's going to mind. So I know that is now sat vertical. I shall, before I machine anything, I'll just check these faces as well and make sure I'm right. What I've got to do next is flick this up to the size it gives. But if you haven't got one of these, I'm going to show you a cheaper way of doing it. Right, for those of you obviously who haven't been lucky enough to go out and buy one of them 3D thingamajigs, I've got a nice piece of 8mm silver steel in here. Yes, I have checked it and it still runs true. So half of that's 4mm. Convert that to imperial, which I forgot, whatever it is, plus my 184 thou plus 10 thou for this here feeler gives me 351, and I'm on just under 351 there, and I'm getting a touch on. So obviously if I go to, because I don't want to, my other one eliminates my backlash, so if I go to about 345, now that should catch. Yep, that's beginning to nip that up. So I'll go out to 350. And yeah, that's catching there. So I'll do me 351. That's just a touch over. I am still catching there a bit, but I was about a thou out before, so I'll go 353. Right, that's catching. That's all right now. Just to check it, there's 354. Yeah, that's going down. Right. So I'm a couple of thou out, but it's a casting. But it's better than nothing. Right. Got my cutter set in now. Now, I know the diameter of my cutter. I know I've clocked on there 0, so I've halved the diameter, and I've just made sure it's just a light scratch on there. So I know I've gone back and come back, and the edge of this cutter is now on 0. We've got a width of 2 3/4 over here, so half of it's 1 3/8. This, you want 3/4 wide. Like I say, it's a casting, so it's going to be somewhere near enough. So obviously, half of 3/4 is 3/8. So we've got 1 3/8, so we've got 1 inch. So I want to come in and clean this up and finish at 1 inch. Got a touch on there, and we're at 850. I'm just going to double check myself to make sure I am not taking off too much. And I've done all my sums right. So, roughly, that is well over 1 inch. That's, oh God, yeah, that's inch and what have we got on there, 50 thou, and I've just took 20 thou off it. Well, I've just took a bit more off it. So what did I say? It's got to be 3/4 of an inch, so 375. There's 4. There is 375. So if you think from the centre of there to the centre of there, it's quite a bit to come off that. I'm just going to double check on the drawing. When you actually look on the drawing, it's if the light's not bounced off it too much, it's quite stubby actually. So we'll take that as gospel. And when you look at how much is on here, so we'll plough on. Now obviously at this point you want to make sure your cutter's not too low so it hits this part of this web. So now I am going to pitch across the diameter of my cutter, which is 18mm. So 18 divided by 25.4 is 708. We shall call it 709 because it's 708 and 6/10. So I've got an inch, so I'm going to go forward 709. I'll just use my ruler. Yep, that's right. Up to 709, and then if I plus 3/4 of an inch, so 0.750, that gives me 100 at 1.4. Oh, plus the inch that I'm already at, sorry. So plus an inch. 2.459. I want to finish at, but I also got to wonder about me backlash. Got to 2.5, but I know I've got 2.48, but I've got backlash as well. So I'm having a quick check, and I am on 850, 865, 866. So 866, I've got 116. Yeah, sounds about right. So we'll crack on. Right, we've got 20 thou to go, and we've actually got 21 thou on that. I think I rounded it up, so that's not bad. We're within 3/4 of a thou there. It's open tolerance, so that'll do for that bit. Right, as I mentioned, we've got 4 thou on that, where ain't going to be enough. So I'm going to clean this side up, then pitch across to see if that side cleans up. If it doesn't, I'm going to clean that side up, mark down what it's took to clean it up, and then take exactly the same off this side. So we'll see how we get on. Right, now I've just gone exact same sizes either side, cleaned up on this side first off because that side was a bit thicker, and I have got 1.989 and some tenths, about 4/10. I'm going to leave it at that. It means it's just over 10 thou down. It should be equal. I don't see why not. If it isn't, then my DRO's off. But I'm going to leave that now. It's cleaned up. It was the same settings on the DRO. And I'm 11 thou down on the 2-inch, which, if it's open tolerance, that'll do. But at least these castings are cleaned up now for putting the centre holes in. Right, we've flipped over now, and nothing's different. That's still on the mark at 7.79. I've got 7.85. So, oh, what? Metric, because that's in metric. 06. So, a couple of thou. Right, that'll do for me. That's fine. So now I'll go down to the 0 that I marked on this. One last bit. There we go. And with the calipers by eye, we've got 7 milli across there. I'll set this at 7, just use it, it's a visual gauge. Right, now, because I'm using double cotters where necessary, I've got to drill and ream all the way through here. Now, because it's been ages, I'm going to consult the Oracle and see where I should be. I can leave the X now because this shall come straight across. It's on the same reading, inch and 3/8, and I can come straight across when I figure it out, pitch from the centre and figure out where we're going. And I'll put a little jack under there just to give it a bit of support. Now I'm pilot drilling this first because that's how I did the other one, and that's how I'm doing this one. because this is me being me, I've got a 12.5mm slot drill here. So what I'm going to see, because I don't like going into with the ream with the drill just in case it's gone off a bit. 12.5mm should be enough. So I'm going to see what that's like going through. Right, that's that done. Now this is one of the cotter pins for the left hand bracket. Now it's the wrong angle there, but the 13mm. So let's see. That feels a good enough fit. At least it's not wobbled through. So just a gentle push. I would say that's reamed alright. Now I decided to 4-jaw this piece, doing the cotter pins, because I'm using a different boring head and I'm getting an absolute rubbish finish. So I've done the same again. Stuck this in my 3-jaw. It's nice and simple. Squared all that up, and I've got about 25 to go now. Right, that should be to size, 1.25 inches. The shaft is actually, that might be onto me, I'll just get it to this one. The shaft is actually nearly a thou under. It's about half a thou, I think last time I checked it. And that, according to this, is just under 1.25 inches by, looking at that, about 2/10. So let's get the shaft, because this is one good thing about doing this in a 4-jaw. You can generally try whatever you want in the hole by just moving your saddle back. Right, 1 minute. Right, if you remember, this is what the other bit I'm doing, whatever it's called, is going on. Right, as the man says, we'll buy that for $1. I mean, I'll just show you the end of it. It's hardly moving. So over that length, we'll call that as done. Well, that, you can hardly see them in there. I must admit, I do prefer 4-jawing them than boring them. You've got more control. And these little jigs, I have had a comment of one subscriber, I'm sorry, I can't remember your name at the moment, I will look it up, who made a suggestion, and I do agree with him. You could go all the way through and bolt on either side. But my thought on that was, well, you've got to stop these inserts from sliding. It has been mentioned you could use some glue. You could, and yeah, it would work, I would think, exactly the same, perfectly well. But my way of doing this, if I can get it to work properly, which this is the second one I've done and looks like it has, is because I'm going down to a depth here, I've got something for these two spacers to pull on. I've got a hard stop because I'm threaded into obviously that one, and the other one's the sliding one. Now when I take these out, I'm going to only take one side out because that's the pair that's going to go in the next job. I'm going to leave that pair in there till the other job that it needs. I think there's another set for 1.25 inches, so I'm going to leave them in the jig. And then I'm not, if there is any mismatch, which there shouldn't be, because if you go back and watch my other video, you'll notice how when I put the spacers in, I then depth mic, and I get them to exactly the same depth off the stop. These two, it doesn't matter. They can alter a little bit. It's getting the two spacers equal, and then that then defines your centre line for your bore. Because if you get the depth from there and there equal, and you call that depth your centre line, then effectively you're boring right on the centre of where that spacer's going. And then my idea is when I take these out, I can then take an equal amount off one side and the other, and it gives me that space that they want for the pinch. I've got the job in the stub arbor that I made. I've put it back in the jaws, made sure it's running true. The two spacers I've cleaned up and just machined them so they're just below the surface of these two faces. Just put a bolt in for the time being, little nip, and that's that fastened onto there now. So then I can machine this to length, and then these two hang on, I'll go and look at the word and see whatever it is, I can't remember the word. But you clean up these faces, obviously it will then run true with that, with the bore. These have markings on them later on as well, so obviously flick it up to length, get a pass on there so it cleans the face up, and then obviously undo your cotter pin, take it out and just clean up the other one there. I could, if I put something in, clean that up while it's in situ, but it means me getting a tool right way down here, and to be honest, if this is running true, turn it round and do the other side. So anyway, I'll just change the tip in this tool, and I'll get on for doing them. Okay, now this should be plus 10th thou. Six, 7, 25, 50, and I don't know if you can see it, so I am plus 10th thou. Right, you obviously watched that a lot faster than it took me to go across it. And there we go, and it's not a very clear, mate. 7, 25, 50, 750, so that's spot on for that. So clean these two up now. Right, now what I've done, because I want to try and get these two equal, I've elongated, just took my parting blade out, and I've touched on there, and I've got 4.1 on my DRO, just getting that touching on there, and I've got 4.12. So I want to take off 20 thou really more on this one than that one. So if I take 20 thou off first and then take say another 20 thou, I should get these two, that's the plan, cleaned up to the same, so that you etch these later on. But I'm just doing, I know it's only 20 thou difference, but at least then I know they should be the same size, obviously, from the bore. Whether it makes any difference, I don't know. All it says is clean them up. Now that is first off my 20 thou difference, and it's not started cleaning up anyway. See how it's touched on there, not touched on this side. So looking at it, I think if I take off, I'm going to take off about 50 thou. Well, I'm going to see what that cleans up at and see how we go. And that's my 50 thou, and that's cleaned up good and proper. So I'm just going to deburr all of this lot now, and we'll see how good it comes off. Got a little bit of stiffness in this at the moment. Perhaps the oh, it is a bit. It's locked up a bit. Oh, there you go. Right, at least we know it goes on and it comes off. You can see there's in the stub arbor where I went through when I first reamed through. So we get that towards the bottom. See how good this fits back on now. Yeah. Oh, didn't do much to nip that back up. Right, so the same settings are what I had. I shall take this one down now. I'll do this off camera, get it all cleaned up, get it back on the bench and see what we look like. Right, that's that finished. There is on one side of it, that side or that side, a little bit of a recess. I'm not too sure if it'll get in the way or not, I don't know. If you can see in the bore there, you can see how the two cotters are split. Don't know if you can see in there, and they do come together. Now this is the shaft it goes on. He says when it goes on. And obviously you've got to make sure the two cotters are down. There we go. Let's get that out of the road. That fits on there. And just a little hand tight. It's binding it. Doesn't want to come off. So probably a little bit of fitting involved. Now these holes, they don't look right. Now I have double checked with the drawing, even when you look at it on the drawing, and this bigger one here with all the sizes and things on it, it gives you from the centre line 13.5mm. Now I've checked it on my DRO on my mill, picked up the centre of this, pitched across, and according to the sizes it's right. We will see later on down the line whether it is or it isn't, but that for now is done. That's that. So that is the wheel head, or the wheel head collar, this blue bit here. Now next is I'm trying to think, some big housing, big casing. Hang on. It's this bit here. Now this is also either split, you can just see there, there's two bolts. This is either split or has cotter pins in, and we all know which way I'll be going. There is a little bit more of it there. So until next time,